Welcome to Scenes of Violence, live at FDIC 2024. I'm here with Clark Lamping, familiar face. We did this once before.
We have.
2021.
Yep.
Welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
How are you?
Fantastic. We're going to do this commercial first. Right?
Yeah. I mean,
Firehouse Subs. This podcast is brought to you by Firehouse Subs and the Public Safety Foundation. Enjoy more subs, save more lives. Find out more restaurant ownership at www.firehousesubsfranchising.com. And we have several Firehouse Subs in Las Vegas, where I'm from. They do a great job. They purchased door props for us. Forcible entry props.
Awesome.
Yeah, they purchased 3 forcible entry props with their foundation.
yeah, and that's what the Public Safety Foundation does.
Yep.
They supply much needed equipment to departments. I didn't really know about that until this year when we were discussing things, planning FDIC with the board, and learned about the foundation. I had no idea.
All right.
But I'm getting close to retirement. So
What?
Perhaps
No.
Perhaps a Firehouse Subs
franchise?
Yeah, why not?
That sounds like easy work. Working in the kitchen.
Yeah, kitchen work, restaurant work, totally easy.
Yeah.
Totally easy.
Yeah.
Did that the first half of life.
Yeah.
My life, working in kitchens.
Oh.
18-hour days.
Yeah.
5-6 days a week. It's total.
Which
totally
put on a
easy.
resume, though, right?
Oh,
Let's go to
totally
the fire
easy.
department resume.
Yeah.
Hey,
If you can cook in a fire station, that's a wonderful thing.
how'd your class go?
I think it went really good. I had,
What was the title? Same?
active shooter,
Active
pre-planning
shooter,
the
okay.
response. And
how many students, you think?
I hit a record number.
Really?
I nearly had every seat in the class full.
No kidding.
It looked that way,
Wow.
for sure. That the room was packed.
Fantastic. Good for you.
Had a great group of people, very engaged. We had spirited discussions.
Yep.
I even had somebody have a differing opinion to information I was putting out. And I was like,
Perfect.
that's awesome.
Yep.
Let's talk. Furthermore, from that, hey, shoot me an email. Let's continue this. I want to talk about this deeper. Where's your information coming from? Here's where my information comes from. Let's see what we can figure out.
Yeah. Good.
I love it when that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And when is your class?
My class is Thursday at 3:30. Thursday at 3:30.
Thursday, 3:30. I'll be there.
You'll be there? Fantastic. Big box. Responding to big box, big problem. Responding to these big box fires. So it seems like to me, in all the research I've done, the thing to do now is just go to Home Depot and you fill up a cart full of power tools, and then you set Home Depot on fire as you're walking out the door to distract you from stealing tools. You take your shopping cart, you push it right to the pawn shop, and you sell all your power tools. That's the thing to do across the country.
Makes a lot of sense.
Walmart too. So you just load up your cart at Walmart and set Walmart on fire on your way out the door. So it's a significant. We have a significant problem now. Significant problem.
It's pretty sad too, because if you read the news, you'll see that those businesses won't stop you from taking their stuff out the front door.
Right.
You ain't got to burn it
You
down.
don't have to burn it down.
You can just go.
Just
They're
walk
just gonna
out.
let you go. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
That's
And it's surprising to me doing all this research. It's actually pretty easy to set a store on fire. Even a fully sprinklered modern building with a fully functional sprinkler system, fire protection system, they're still burning these things to the ground.
I learned a wonderful thing, and this is like fire as a weapon, which is Asher, Scenes of Violence. It like puts it all together.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Yeah.
I learned a thing. You can put what would be considered a high hazard sprinkler system in a building.
Yeah.
And depending on what code references you look at, IBC, I can have a high K factor, large sprinkler system to deal with tires,
Right.
in a tire shop,
Okay.
not assembly floor, not display floor, like racks of tires.
Right.
But in the IBC, in this mixed occupancy, the IBC does not show it as a high hazard mixed occupancy. So the system is a high hazard system,
Right.
but you don't have to separate the occupancies by the IBC. And I'm like, so NFPA, the sprinkler is a high hazard, but the IBC says, well, the contents aren't a high hazard in that sense. And it's like, how does that work? So here was the answer. The system is not going to put the fire out.
No,
Not going to happen.
it's not designed to put the fire out.
The designers, and when you talk to the FPEs and you sit down with the architects and all that stuff, whole new realm of, as an assistant chief, learning and managing the division that deals with that. They've written the building off. They've written the building off. They've written the contents off. It's like what we tell people. The sprinkler system is not designed to put the fire out. The system is designed to effect escape. It's there for life safety.
To contain the fire long enough. And if it's a Walmart, they figure that this many people are in a Walmart per square foot. And this is how long the system has to contain that fire until everyone escapes.
Now, I get that. Makes perfect sense.
Right.
Let the building burn to the ground. Let the contents burn up. It's all replaceable. How well are we educating our firefighters, our incident commanders, our personnel who are responding to this fire, that that's the case? That with the intention of, if there's ever a fire, write it off. The owners, Walmart, Lowe's, they've accepted the fact that if we get a fire and it spreads or it's a significant size, we're going to lose the building. We're going to lose all the contents.
Right.
And we're good with that.
Yep.
But what are we doing when we show up and it's, and you got a rocking building? What are we doing?
Yeah. According to John Norman, we lose four firefighters killed for every 100,000 house fires. 16 firefighters are killed for every 100,000 commercial fires. So we're killing 4 times the amount of firefighters in commercial fires as we're doing in residences. And the answer is they take residential tactics and strategies into a commercial building. They're using the wrong hose line, using the wrong nozzle. They're not managing their air consumption. Right? They're searching off the hose line. They're not going in with ropes, tag lines, some kind of an umbilical to get you out of the building. And not proper water supply, not locating, not utilizing the proper water supply, showing up with small water mentality to a commercial fire. And it's these things that are getting firefighters killed and hurt. And you ask, what are we doing? I've seen a lot of good examples of bad examples across the country. My agency too. Myself personally, I didn't know how dangerously I was behaving until I really started doing research into these fires. And all of a sudden, geez, I accidentally didn't get killed on about 3 different occasions. Just accidentally made the fire accidentally went out, right? Like doing all the stuff you're not supposed to do, just operating off a hose line.
Stars planning a line, it worked out, but it shouldn't have.
It shouldn't have, yeah.
Right.
And one thing, we're talking about a great video. Baltimore County released a video on the Advanced Auto Parts store fire. They had a double near miss. They had a double mayday. Guy searching for fire off the hose line, gets lost, calls a mayday. Someone goes in on a RIT team by himself, says, I know exactly where that guy is. I know the store. It's my first in. We pre-planned it. He explained it. I know exactly. It took him 40 seconds to locate the lost firefighter. He said, we're going to turn around and we're going to come back out. He said, I made a 15-degree turn, and that got me completely lost inside this building. We ended up in a completely different place of this building, and they called another mayday. So we have 2 lost firefighters now. They did locate him. They evacuated him. No injuries. But it was something as simple as a 15-degree turn. Almost cost him his life.
Well, and what do we train to? And what do we experience on the regular? What burns the most? House fires, right?
House fires,
so like
absolutely.
That is like, how often do you train on large area search? How often do you train on not extending the hose line beyond 150 feet?
Right.
Whatever practice that you have, and you should have a practice of we're not going any further than this. Like, how often is that ingrained and done versus VES of a residential structure?
Right. I could argue not nearly enough. Not nearly enough.
Well, can't train enough for something that's going to kill you.
Can't
right?
train enough. Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it's interesting because fire as a weapon has gained a lot more prominence or popularity, but it's not getting the attention, the national attention that one would think, because it's always it's in conjunction with something else. It's in conjunction with some other type of act or aggression. But the know-how to burn down a commercial building with people in it, it's not that big of a stretch.
No.
I mean, the learning curve is pretty small.
Pretty small.
Yeah.
And the store provides everything you need to set the fire. They had one in Spokane, Washington. This woman walks into Spokane, Washington, goes to the barbecue aisle and picks up a barbecue lighter, and then goes to the garden section and picks up a can of True Fuel, and then takes her cart and she buys, it was something ridiculous, like half a dozen paper towels, some potting soil, and a potted plant. And that's it, like not even $100 worth of stuff. She dumps the True Fuel out and lights it with the barbecue lighter, and $7 million damage to the Home Depot for a potted plant and some mulch. And everything she got was right there. Everything she got was right there in the store. Walmart now, I think they said they're going to start locking up the lighter fluid. They have to start locking up lighter fluid because same thing.
Good.
A guy just walked into Walmart, took the lighter fluid right off the shelf, opened it right there, dumped it out, and lit it on fire right there.
Well, and familiar with John Orr, arson investigator, Southern California,
Okay.
burned up a whole bunch of buildings. Like,
Okay.
when they busted him, arson fires in Southern California dropped like 85%.
Wow.
There's
That guy's motivated.
Yeah, there's a book called Fire Lover by Joseph Wambaugh. It's a great book that details how HBO did a movie on it with Ray Liotta. Ray Liotta actually played that character. And what he would do, he'd walk into a Joanne Fab, the Michael store, over where the pillows are.
Yep.
Take a cigarette, light up a cigarette, put it in a book of matches, drop it in the center. Cigarette would burn back. Obviously, it's many years ago when we didn't have fire safe cigarettes, but it would burn back, hit the matches, light it up. And it was essentially a poor man's time delay device, but it burns away.
Yeah.
What's left?
Right.
Difficult it would be to find a cigarette butt and, the remnants of a pillow,
Yeah.
a big display of pillows,
Yeah.
but I killed people. I killed people in the building. And that particular fire killed a grandmother and her granddaughter.
Wow.
And it's not a new concept. It's dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's absolutely dangerous. And if people are doing that, a large portion of what we said about commercial fires in big boxes, nighttime, let it go.
Let it go.
Your time of day and the occupancy means a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what happens at noon?
Right.
With
Well, I
somebody
didn't argue.
stealing.
What? So rescue profile is how many we pull up, and we're looking at Costco. How many people, Costco during hours, how many people do you think that we are going to have to physically rescue out of Costco that's on fire? Take a guess. Or any Lowe's, Walmart, Home Depot, Amazon.
You hope none.
None.
Yeah, that.
Very, very low.
Yeah.
It's very low. There's two factors, because first of all, everyone's awake. Okay. And second of all, it's the size of the building. It's the cubic feet inside the building. So Home Depot is 105,000 square feet. It's 30-foot ceilings. So you do the math on that, that's over 3 million cubic feet of air inside a Home Depot. 3 million cubic feet of air. You have a ripping fire in Home Depot, and that building will absorb so much smoke, like 15 minutes. You can have a ripping fire for 15 minutes before you actually lose visibility at the eye level, allowing people plenty of time to simply walk out with all their stuff, by the way.
Sure.
They take full advantage of it. I've got a video of a Peachtree, Georgia Walmart, and people are still shopping. The fire is ripping, and people are still walking to with their cars and just loading the car up, and you can see it. The guy's filming from the front of the store, and you see this ripping fire. And kids, this woman has kids, a little kid, and they're still just filling up the car, Yeah, so rescue
make stuff
profile
up.
is low, which is why we should not prioritize search. We should not put ourselves completely out there searching a Walmart, going down aisles that in low visibility, considering the chances of someone actually being in there are extremely low. And then people are going to hate me for that. What do you mean we're not going to search? We're not going to search. It's ridiculous. You know, I always say, so tech rescue calls, technical rescue, trench rescue. Okay. When we have a confirmed worker down in a trench and the technical rescue team shows up, do they dive headfirst into the trench and start shoveling and start bucketing and trying to get that guy out? Or does the technical rescue team build shores, evaluate the situation, evacuate 100 feet around, evacuate 300 feet around, set up shores, and meticulously move dirt so the trench doesn't collapse?
Yeah, to manage risk.
Exactly, because it turns out it's pretty easy to get yourself killed in a trench rescue. Right? How about does the hazardous materials team, do they rush into the pool of the green stuff and then jump out and say, what do you think we should do with this problem now? Or does the hazmat team stand way back, uphill, upwind, and use the binoculars to see if we can find some placards, see if we can find something identifying the material, see if we can look for signs of life? No, they take their time. Why? Because it turns out it's pretty easy to get yourself hurt or killed on a hazmat accident.
Very, very much so.
Yeah. How about swift water? What do they teach you? Reach, throw, row, and go? Do they teach you dive into the moving water to save the dog that's clinging to the tree branch in the middle of the rush? No, because it turns out why? It's pretty easy to get yourself killed in swift water. Right?
Why be different?
Yeah. Large commercial structures. Why would we? It's pretty easy to get yourself hurt and killed in a large commercial structure. Why are you going to put yourself out there when chances are extremely low to find someone actually in the building? So take your time, manage your risk.
Of course, you do tremendous research and very thorough whenever you teach. Now that you say it out loud, it makes perfect sense. But I wouldn't have thought, like if you asked, hey, how long do you think it's going to take for the smoke to bank down from the ceiling to the floor? I wouldn't have put a number to it. If you forced me to put a number to it, I would have made it way less than 15 minutes. I mean, like, content driven, of course, but an important piece to what you were talking about with the rescue profile is, okay, if it is fire as a weapon and it is intentional and people are creatures of habit, they want to come in the same way that they went out. But to your point, it's a Lowe's. It's the aisles are perfectly evenly spaced apart.
Right.
It is clear where there are exits everywhere. There are staff everywhere. So if you lost your primary means that you entered the store, there are obvious other means of egress that are well labeled. So I'd even go so far as to say that aspect of an intentional act doesn't necessarily immediately go, oh God, we got to dump companies in there and start doing large searches, and we have no idea how many people were in there.
Right.
How do you do accountability for that? So no, if we don't know, we got to go.
Right.
We don't know, we got to go. We got to search.
Yeah.
Measured risk, reducing risk, pretty much all within that thought process. Would you say?
Yeah.
It's all about risk.
Absolutely. Calculating risk for sure. Do you have any Amazon buildings in your first in?
No, but there is a giant Amazon. There is a giant Amazon center in the county adjoining.
Right. This is the new normal, Chief. This is the new normal. Massive Amazon buildings. I think everyone has an Amazon building very close to them. And now what we're experiencing in Las Vegas, where I'm from, is people can no longer afford property in California, and they can't afford the taxes in California. So all this material comes in from China. They put it right on trucks and trains, and they drive it straight through California and drop it in Nevada. We have now the parent company for Crocs shoes and Hey Dudes, same company. They built a 2 million square foot warehouse in Clark County, Southern Nevada. It is a quarter of a mile long.
Wow.
And has 250 roll-up doors on it.
Wow.
I walked in when they were building it, I put my back against one wall, Chief. You can't even see the back wall. That's how big this building is. And it's going to be full of styrofoam trucks. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Everything flammable.
But again, if the business designed the building with the thought process of we'll have a system to get our people out and we'll let the place go to the ground. You got to know if that's what it is, then accept that that's what it is. And don't try to intervene in that life safety. And then after that, if it's going to go, it's going to go.
Yeah.
Like if you're only going to penetrate 150 feet into a building and it's what you said, half a mile long,
Quarter mile long.
quarter mile long, 250 roll-up doors,
Right?
and you got a decent working fire. I mean,
And the fuel load is trucks.
right.
Trucks.
How many gas stations do you pass on the way to get there? They sell marshmallows or anything like
Yeah,
that?
exactly.
I mean,
yep.
Joking, you don't want to see anybody lose stuff or have a fire like that, but the mindset's got to be, you got to let it go.
Yeah.
You got to let it go. Construction. You're always really knowledgeable about construction. Now, these big box buildings, they're built engineering wise. Oh, yeah, it's great. But then you put a fire in there.
Right.
What happens to the walls?
Most are going to be concrete tilt-up. Most are concrete tilt-up. And concrete tilt-up is fastened at the corners. And then the roof system pretty much holds the building together. Steel trusses, metal deck roof usually, metal deck roofing material, foam, probably foam on as the decking material. So yeah, foam starts to degrade at 800 degrees. You're going to reach well above 800 degrees. That potentially to either push those walls out, it's going to elongate and push those walls out, or it's going to collapse in the middle and pull the walls in. Yeah. So if we decide to actually fight a fire in one of these structures, 2.5-inch smooth bore all day long, and possibly one of those ground monitors, right? Your RAMs or your blitz fires.
Sure.
But one line goes onto the burning material. Second line goes right at the roof. Concentrate that right above the fire and continually try to cool that steel, and create a sprinkler effect, 250 GPM sprinkler coming right down on the burning material.
Seems to make perfect sense.
And in a perfect world, in my mind, it works every time, Chief. Every time it works.
Well, so you'll see throwing aerials up and we're going to shoot water from the top, and but you're adding weight, and are you really getting to what is burning and able to disrupt all of that as versus coming up, from underneath?
The roof is designed to shed water, right? So you're going to put a couple areas up and just keep dumping 350,000 gallons of water on a roof, and like you said, run off.
So I went into Mike Champo's class of towers, tricks and tips.
Yep.
The other day, and I learned where the tower came from the '60s and Mack truck. FDNY's bread and butter that everybody else seems to have morphed into with the towers, putting in a place where you can use the tower like a ground monitor,
right?
Shooting water up
Yep.
at big water, and it's easily articulatable if you get everything in place right. And it's like, wow, it's like, aerial, put the aerial up, instantly assume we're going to put the aerial up, throw water down.
Right.
All the media and stuff that he had in there was like, wow, you put the thing out on the street and you see they're shooting water up. It's like, that makes sense. How are you going to get through?
Yeah.
When you can come up.
And they're good at it. New York's good at that tactic. We don't do that very much in Clark County, but east of the Mississippi East Coast, they're really aggressive. Really aggressive. And also Miami-Dade. I saw Bill Gustin has several videos of their guys handling that too. I mean, that's like Plan C. They move right into that. Can't hit it with hand lines, can't hit it with the ground monitor, get the aerial, put the aerial right side of the door.
And Champ goes into in great detail about taking somebody off the company and they're watching the wall.
Yeah.
They had specialized unit come out and they'll put the laser on the wall, and the laser will tell you when the wall is moving. That kind of thing.
FDNY, right? They got lasers, they got drones.
Yeah,
They got,
I saw the thing. I saw the thing like 8 years ago, and it was out here. It was like the laser measures to the wall, and it's a laser, so it's micro precision. If that thing moves, if the wall moves a tenth of an inch, it can tell you. It's right important because, as you said, the walls could fall in, but they could fall out.
yes.
You got to be careful about using a tower ladder in that manner.
Right.
Make sure that you're watching things and it's measured risk.
Right.
Right.
We had a near miss in Clark County about 10, 15 years ago. Vacant, empty, concrete tilt up, roof failed, and the walls came out. And guys actually physically jumped out of the way as this wall hit. And it was close. The video's out there. It is close. And it'll hurt your heart when you see how close it is. Some guy's getting smacked.
That's wow.
Yeah. And when you see that wall hit the ground, the velocity of that wall hitting the ground, it's unbelievable. You can almost feel it through your TV.
And collapse zone, it's not a new thing.
Right.
I think the time from which a collapse zone actually there's a collapse, that's gone.
Yeah.
Much shorter.
Much shorter because of the fuel load. And it's the same thing with what we have in our houses now. Right? Why did we go from 15 minutes before flash over to 3 minutes? Because of the fuel load. It's the same thing now. Everything inside these buildings, Chief, is plastic and foam.
Yeah, it's cheap, lightweight, easy to make, easy to replicate.
Yep.
Or big thing, recycled materials. Oh, we have recycled materials. What's your recycled materials made out of? Water bottles, everything else is plastic that we melt down, throw in some dye and food coloring and put it in a mold and pop out something else, and here you go.
Right.
And it's denser and more compact and can put off more BTUs, can put off more smoke when it starts to go. It's a scary sense of things.
Solid state gasoline.
Right. Extruded polystyrene.
Extruded, expanded.
I know you know about all that.
Yep.
I could get in trouble, maybe. There is a company who will remain nameless, but they work in the.
Can I guess?
If I don't confirm, it's maybe.
All right.
So, they work in the insulation business.
Okay.
And they make this thing that's meant as a rafter baffle.
What is it?
A rafter baffle.
I don't know what a rafter baffle is.
I know. It's awesome.
You got me. You really got me.
Residential house.
Yeah.
You got your rafters.
Yeah.
And especially if you're in a colder environment and you have insulation, bath insulation rolled down for your roof's life, the life of your roof, to extend it, they put in a baffle that allows air to travel from the soffit to the ridge cap, and it's this thin piece of plastic or polystyrene, and it just creates this little air channel from where it first meets down at the soffit. So you got your soffit block keeping down your insulation, especially if blown in, and then you have this rafter baffle. The rafter baffle, this particular rafter baffle, is made of extruded polystyrene, which by code, you're not supposed to have extruded polystyrene insulation in unprotected space, being attic. Okay. But the company argues it's not insulation. It's a rafter baffle. It has a name, but the name will very clearly identify the company.
Right.
But we've had some fires, garage fire, auto vents out, and the expectation, okay, the auto vents out, hops to the second floor, and then no. Auto vented to the soffit of the second floor, lit the extruded polystyrene rafter baffle off, and it started burning bays. And when we arrive, you got fire coming out the garage. There is a hole about this big in the video, big hole, probably 5x5 of burning roof material. From the soffit to the base, nothing's burning. There's the shingles are intact. It's just this hole. And if you measured it, it's the length, just short of the length of the rafter baffle. Right?
Yeah.
And it's at a pitch. And you have the heat. So it's at the pitch. You get the heat coming up. It lights it off. It liquefies. It lays on top of the insulation as pool, and then it burns.
Right.
And you have bays of it. It's in every bay, in your attic. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
It burned the roof off.
Absolutely.
We had the second floor collapse into the first floor, and all of it happened within 20 minutes of arrival, or 20 minutes of fire discovery. And fire discovery was smoke coming out of the garage. Garage doors open, good turbulent smoke. When we arrived and I described that fire blowing out in 6 minutes from the 911 call. 6 minutes.
Extruded polystyrene releases 24,000 BTUs per pound of material. It's stored fuel. It is solid state gasoline.
I would challenge you and our listeners, watchers, go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's, any of those big box home improvement stores. Go over to the roofing area where you have shingles and insulation, and you will find these products, because there's multiple ones. Some of them are plastic, some of them are tin, some of them are polystyrene, and they're there, and they're used commonly. So in the South, we don't put bath insulation, but they use a lot of blown cellulose insulation, or they've blown fiberglass insulation. This particular product also can be a rafter baffle. It can be a rafter baffle and a soffit block. So it's up to you as the installer to cut that part off and just not use it. What do you think the likelihood of that is all the time? That they'll be like, oh yeah, we only need to use this much. We'll just cut that off. Yeah, we'll throw the rest of that in the dumpster.
Right.
And it's a lot of material.
Yeah.
It can change your day. So there are things like that, and that is in your big box space, and it's in racks, rack storage.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what happens to your racks when you have hundreds, if not thousands, of extruded polystyrene material, and it's on the bottom rack, so that's reachable? What's going to happen to that if that thing lights off?
And not just that, Chief, but hey, we wrap exterior houses in polystyrene boards, 1-inch polystyrene board. We wrap the whole exterior of the house. You buy it at Home Depot. They have sheets and sheets and sheets of 4x8 by 1-inch thick polystyrene, extremely flammable, already in the vertical configuration, right? One flick of a lighter to the back corner of that, and we're shopping at Lowe's now because Home Depot is gone.
Right.
So, let's do with your world.
Starting into the division that we created a professional services division with a Bureau of Training and a Bureau of Prevention.
Okay.
So we had a training division, we had a prevention division. However, staffing, just like everybody else, were hurting. So we dissolved those divisions, and under one chief, Professional Services, Training Bureau, Prevention Bureau, and we shift the manpower to the work.
Okay.
Conceptually, we're still working it. We've done it for about 7 months, but crazy happy at the possibilities of things.
Okay, good.
We have a new training officer that we brought on, came in as an inspector. He has a background in education. He was a school teacher. He was a firefighter, left the fire service, became a school teacher. Then he came back to the fire service, and I'm like,
you think?
this is perfect. this is perfect. Guess who's going to do my new pub ed program?
School teacher.
Right.
Perfect.
And, oh, you're in training. So we're going to professionalize our pub ed training. You're the guy. And he's loves it, off and running with it.
Good.
But now we can ebb and flow.
That's
And-
interesting.
Yep. It's just, we're
Now,
managing talent.
do you think you spend enough time, you don't dedicate enough resources to prevention now? Or is it kind of, well, we'd love to do some more building inspections, but we got all these guys doing training because we have a recruit class or something on it.
So that's a great point. We stay hypersensitive to our analytics, and we're doing it all day, every day. We're doing needs assessment all day, every day. And we're looking at where are we at. So our annual training plan allows for us to say pause and be able to turn to the companies and say, need you to carry out the annual training plan with your company level training. So instead of saying, hey, we're going to focus on ground ladders this training cycle, and it's all about ground ladders, and that's what we need to do. Turn to the company officer and say, give me 4 hours of training this month in support company work, truck work. On what? Whatever you think, Cap. Whatever your crew needs. Do that. Focus on that. And we'll step back, and we won't be teaching classes. We'll just be facilitating training. So you need an acquired structure, we'll help set that up. You need some resources, you want to R&D a product, we'll do that. But those guys are jobbing also sliding over to help support prevention. So we default to that, and everything just keeps going. And instead of doing a training bureau directed, designed, and initiated, monthly drill, we'll step back and do a quarterly drill, and we'll do a multi-unit drill. So we'll do a mud drill, or we'll bring in mutual aid partners, or we'll partner with their mud drill. So it will manage the work. And it's like we said, shift the manpower to the work. There is going to be the time where the work is heavy in training and the work is heavy in prevention.
Right.
And how to weigh that. Plan is to help involve the shift and get the shift guys and the companies to help step up with our prevention piece. So I'm crazy happy with it. I'm crazy happy with the captain that's running the training bureau right now. The inspectors that are in the prevention bureau, those guys, I'm telling you, working the floor, you have all this love for the people in the company. Hey, yeah, we're jobbing. Our A shift rocks, B shift sucks. That kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And in that position, you look at the training guys and prevention guys. Yeah. What do they do? They do prevention stuff.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
They are jobbing. They are jobbing, and the amount of work and what is being done is just insane.
Absolutely.
It's insane.
And any firefighters who think that clearly don't get it. We save way more lives with prevention and education than we do with fire suppression.
Absolutely.
Way more lives.
Yep, absolutely. I'm learning a whole lot about prevention that I did not know before.
Yeah. And do you want to punch yourself in the face for not learning it earlier in your career? As a young fireman, young fireman, I should have known this stuff.
All day long.
It is criminal that I did not learn this or didn't even know this stuff existed.
So it's funny. My brother, he got promoted to assistant chief shortly after I did.
Same department?
No, in upstate New York.
Okay.
In Ithaca, and he got assistant chief of codes and prevention.
Okay.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Was he mad?
A DNA trait, I guess. I don't know. But when he started, he got out of the academy, started on a job with the department. His assignment was codes. That's going to codes.
Right.
And it's a set time, and I don't want to say I don't want to put a time to it and be wrong. It's not like, oh, you're now a code inspector. Thanks for joining the fire department. No, it's a stint. I realized way too much later. That seems like a death sentence to a probie, to a rookie that's just trying to get on the job.
Yeah.
The amount, I talked to him on the phone, the amount of knowledge that he has about his footprint, his jurisdiction, the buildings, the systems it's nuts.
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's like you have the jewel information, that little extra piece of information that makes the difference in an operation. Like, oh, the FDC, it's always behind the bush. They let the bush grow too big. You don't trim the bush back. I know where the FDC is. It's over there.
Yep.
Stuff like that. Being in what's around the backside of the building. Do you have clearance? Do you have issues? Do they store stuff back there? Have you written them up for things in the past? And oh, gee whiz, that's where you see black smoke coming out. Like things like that. It's crazy amount of information.
And I wish I paid more attention earlier in my career.
So did I.
It's about time to wrap this
Wow.
up, isn't it, boss?
I think we are at the wishing hour.
We are at the wishing hour. It's
Are they-
happy hour for sure.
They're
It's
waving at us?
definitely
Yeah,
happy
they're waving
hour.
at us to
Yeah,
stop.
they're definitely happy hour.
That? Oh my, what? Okay.
All right.
So happy hour, right?
happy hour. Every hour is happy in my life, Chief.
I mean, I can get that. I agree
Yep.
with that.
Absolutely.
that.
Well, I appreciate you for sure.
Yeah, no,
I
thank
appreciate
you.
what you do. You are definitely getting some information out there that's very, very important. And
And-
coming from Las Vegas, I've lived it. I've been on the receiving end of this mess, and we definitely appreciate all the work you're doing.
I'm here to tell you, it's people like you that I've looked up to and have great respect for and try to emulate. And your tears above me. Way
Straight line. Yeah.
many tears
This
above
is
me.
recorded. Everyone's watching you lie. Everyone's watching you lie.
Well, hey,
All right, brother.
give me the $20 after we're off.
$20. Okay. $20. Good.
Well, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, Chief. It is a pleasure.
Always.
And that's it. Hey,
Well-
if you see us out there, if you see us on the front, please stop and say hi.
Absolutely.
I love talking about fighting fire, indoors, outdoors, at the bar, at the restaurant, anywhere. Please stop us and just say hi.
For sure. And have a safe FDIC. And again, thank you, Firehouse Subs, Public Safety Foundation for sponsoring live at FDIC this year. And we'll see you on the next
Public-
radio
wait.
show. We'll see you
One
in the
more.
next.
One more public service announcement. Stay off the scooters. Stay off the scooters after coming home from the bar. Trust me. Trust me on that.
Yeah, no scooters.
The scooters.
Thanks. Everybody be safe, and we'll see you next year.